signed Pima to OVO Sound. Look, bro, if you heard Some Sexy Songs for You, bro, that is unarguably one of the best records on that album. Pimi's interlude. He signed it to OVO. Look, he just made it official. I'm willing to believe that was always the plan, fam. You got to go listen to her songs. Look, shout out Pima. I don't know. She just came out of nowhere with this shit for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, she's from the other side. You know what I mean? She's from where they from. You know what I mean? Toronto or some shit like that. You know what I mean? I love it. You know what I mean? They're doing real big things out there. R&B wise, bro. It's just the aesthetic that they carry, that OVO sounds something else. That shit hit different. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Shout out Drizzy. But most of all, man, shout out Pima. That new song Bet, yeah, that bitch hard. But that Pima's interlude, that shit just something different, fam. I'm gonna be honest with you. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. Sharpe interview Kevin Gates on Club Shay, and this is one of the best interviews of the year, man. This is one of Shannon Sharpe's best interviews ever. Why, bro? He know how to interview, bro. He asked the questions that Kevin Gates ain't never answered, bro. And he let a nigga really like see into the mind of Kevin. You know what I mean? Look, Kevin been through all type of things, man. I didn't even know. Most people didn't know. The man shot himself in the head in 2020, bro. He tried to end it. He tried to commit suicide, fam. On top of that, fam, admitted to being sexually assaulted by mine when he was a kid, man. This is why he acts crazy. Now, you could judge people, but you gotta understand everybody been through something, bro. You are a strong individual when you can finally tell your fucking story, man. Let's all salute Kevin Gates, man. Shout out Shannon Sharpe for even bringing this out of him. But I needed it. Yeah, I needed to hear it. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real, fam. Compares Fabulous to Lloyd Banks. Look, when Fabulous made the diss track, everybody say, 50 need to get him. Then they say, no, what? He need to stick Lloyd Banks on him. Look, 50 say Lloyd Banks are one and the same. Neither one of them ever put in no work for themselves. On top of that, if either one of them was to really put out a commercial project, neither would sell. He say they're the same, ladies and gentlemen. There you have it. He don't fuck with Lloyd Banks no more than he fucks with Fabulous. You know what I mean? Look, I gotta be honest with you though. Lloyd Banks cool. A nigga could rap his ass off, but Fabulous hit different, man. I mean, will you do it for the love? This is what Fabulous said. What it ain't had the most commercial success, some of your biggest artists, but the nigga done got a little taste of it, you know what I mean? But get what? The taste that he got made him want to just do it for the love, man. Him, Davies, Mano. I want to say Jim Jones too, but he kind of a different situation. But yeah, that's why they fit together, folks. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the play. Facing a $20 million lawsuit over Sean Combs' The Reckoning, the docu-series on Netflix that garnered so much attention and money on. Look, Clayton Howard, I believe that's what it was. It was one of the sexual one of the people they hired. Yeah, let's call him that. He's one of the hirees. He's suing, fam. He was part of the docu-series. He say 50 and made it look like he was taking up for Cassie, when all in fact, he ain't never had no dealings with Diddy. He say Cassie Ventura trafficked him. You know what I mean? He say the whole thing was designed to go against Diddy, to make Diddy look bad for his personal vendettas. Look, if Clayton could make this stick, you got to know Diddy, the dealer. That $500 million lawsuit he got against Curtis Jackson and Netflix, man, it's gonna find a way to make itself legitimate. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. I think Diddy is gonna get paid. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the playground. We're back. We're not going anywhere, fam. Just being honest. Just being real. Drop it in the comments. Scars from the playground. Michael 5,000 watts succumbed to heart failure in Houston, fam. This is one of the DJs that's really started the movement. It wasn't just DJ Screw, it was some others. You know what I mean? Michael 5,000 watts. I don't believe that was Swisher House DJ. He was one of the founders in Houston. I know a lot of people gonna say, well, if you don't know that, you must not be from here. get off the bullshit. You know what I mean? They know me on every side, east, south, north, and west. You know what I mean? So if you don't know the name, you know the face. But look, this ain't about that. This is about DJ Michael, 5,000 watts. We're losing legends down south very rapidly. Very rapidly. And it's all from like health related shit. Which is crazy. What they're trying to do is wipe out the history of it. You know, they're trying to wipe out the history. Next thing you know, OG Ron C gonna be saying he's the last living legend. And no shots to OG Ron C. Look, drop it in the comments, man. Scores from the play. From an incurable heart disease. Look, he said the heart is beating at only 25% of what it's supposed to be doing. Look, earlier he was hospitalized for a serious case of pneumonia. The main claims he only had like 6 months to a year to live. I'm gonna be honest with you, fam. I think it's all bullshit. Yeah, I think it's all bullshit. You know, he wants the sympathy. Yeah, he wants the sympathy. In a year here, I'm magically cured, bro. They just saying the man was gonna travel out of country because he found a cure for his incurable heart disease. What do you got exactly? You say you're on 9 medications. What are the medications? Look, real hard shit. Until that man goes, I won't believe it. I'm gonna just be honest with you, because everything he do for the TV is made for TV, man. That man is straight out of a comic fucking book. Now you're sick. Okay, nigga knew you was gonna get sick when you were drinking like a goddamn fish. For 40,000 fans in Mexico City. You look, bro, they love him. Yeah, they loving him out there, bro. He did 36 songs, fam. This is dope. This is massive, a massive set list, bro. Plus, he did songs off his long-awaited, facing numerous delays, Bully album. You know what I mean? The Bully album got pushed back again. I know a lot of people thought that bill was gonna come out yesterday. Couple months, you'll get it. Right now, he's performing. He even brought out Northwest and let her do some solo shit. You know what I mean? This is a family act, bro. Another show tonight, you know what I mean? Killing it. Did it, little boy? Christian Combe, he pulled up too. Not that it even matters, but just let you know that he's gonna stick together. Yeah, he riding with Did It till the wheels fall off, but he's not anti-Semitic anymore. You know what I mean? So what's the problem? Just being honest, just being drop it in the comments. Disturbing allegations. He's mentioned in the Epstein files, man. He's been fucking around. Look, Epstein felt like he was something like the devil, you know what I mean? Just to say they were partying with Epstein, going to Epstein Island. He's definitely down with the bullshit, fam. One has to look into him. Ramir Sadoway might actually be his son. Yeah, might actually be his son, bro. I like him as an artist. But knowing he went with R. Kelly after R. Kelly married Aaliyah when she was 15 years old, never sat right with me, fam. On top of that, preying on them young girls when you old enough to be their fathers, you know what I mean? Come on. Yeah, he locked Rihanna in a room allegedly, jump off the bridge or sign a contract. Look, bro, this dude been doing some crazy shit for a minute. Y'all just not finding out. Throwing shots at Kevin Gates. Look, Kevin Gates thought he was gonna play on her top. What he thought was that she was just a whore and he could just, manipulate her. Didn't know she was actually very fucking smart and keeping her receipts. I don't care what Kevin said. Let's get into what Brittany Renner said about Kevin. You know what I mean? Look, she wonder if your new wife slamming you with that 9.5-inch pecker. Look, bro, she said, man, this is some hard accusations, but it's not far from what he was saying on Club Shay that he had been tampered with and it changed him, you know what I mean? They been said this about Kevin. When he was in prison, he was doing things. I did the story, said this shit 1,000,000 times, you know what I mean? Kevin, that nigga something else, you know, just being honest, just being real. Drop it in the comments, man. Shout out Brittany Renner. I said Finesse2tymes. He say, look, Rap-A-Lot do good business with people who uphold good character and know what it means to make a return on an investment. He say this man is a drug addict and he's proud of it. You will lose millions investing into a drug habit. Now, a drug addict. Now he said they invested millions into this man and has yet to recoup anything they put into him. But he want more marketing money. Not only is that not about to happen, but he's about to have some shelf life. Yeah, bro. He's about to have some shelf life because not only are they're not gonna let him out of contract, but that mill career is literally in shambles because his next album might be 6 years from now. Drop it in the comments. I don't even think Finesse put out an album. That's weird to think of, but I've never heard of Finesse2tymes actually dropping an album since he's retired. Drop it in the comments, man. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Facing disturbing allegations. Look, let's just get into it. The main is in the Epstein files, fam. Yeah, him and Harvey Weinstein allegedly drugged the young lady Armand and took advantage, fam. Look, this is not looking good for Pusha T. It's not looking good. People been waiting for them Epstein files to be released, and then when they finally get released, you see one of your favorites on that list. You know what I mean? Look, man, what happened with all that godly shit he be talking about? I'm gonna tell you this, bro. It's just playing on your hearts. Yeah, the man been telling you what he is for the longest. A coke man. Yeah, he was a coke man. So they were drugging anything or they were cutting that shit with fentanyl. Get what? The Pusha man was allegedly doing it. Look, bro, Pusha T has yet to respond to these allegations, but you gonna have to come out. Yeah, you gonna have to come out because you seem like a freaky bastard now. I'm just being honest, just being real. Drake got all he need if you want to start back up. Lost $11.7 million for his NBA anti-drug violation. Look, they suspended that man for 25 games. A lot of people think it's just about the games, bro. If you don't play, you don't get paid. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. 25 games is going to cost him $11.7 million. Look, he was dropping 30 on perk 30s. That's what they say, bro. That's what it means. He took a mistake of taking some medication that he wasn't supposed to take. You know what I mean? But had him playing like a champ. But like I said, it was a violation. Weird thing is, bro, I thought all NBA players did drugs. You know what I mean? Let me not be a whistleblower. You know what I mean? I thought it was cool to keep your shit right. You know, you push a nigga like a machine, nigga hating. You know what I mean? Yeah, nigga hating. Nigga can't take him a perk daddy. You know what I mean? Shout out Paul George, but 11.7 million. That ain't no chump change, man. Just being honest, just being. Look, even after the Grammy nominations and all the Grammy Awards, Wack 100 still talking his shit. He's throwing shots at Kendrick Lamar. He said the difference between the game and Kendrick Lamar is the game carried the West Coast on his back when it was dead and then quit. He said K-Dot came in the game when it was already a movement. It's a big difference. He said Dot was following behind Drake in a Sprinter van. You know what I mean? Look, bro, it's some truth to that. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. If he hadn't turned into Compton Kenny after all the slave shit, the city wouldn't be behind him. They wasn't fucking with K-Dot like that in L.A. He had to go over there to the Fairfax district. Yeah, he had to go to the Fairfax district to get some love. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. They didn't like that different shit in the hood back in the day. Drop it in the comments, man. Wack 100 got a point. Trick Daddy throwing shots at Plies. He say Plies don't have one album that can top any of his albums. So a versus against him and Plies, it just simply wouldn't make sense. In fact, he says it would take at least 2 rappers from his era to try to jump him to even keep up with him, but he already got the perfect little mix-up of how he gonna do it, bro. He gonna keep it commercial, go with the radio hits. He gonna provide something for the streets, and then he gonna add the finisher. Look, Trick Daddy was a motherfucker. I gotta be honest, I gotta be real. Him, verses against him and Plies
And if we going commercial success, it probably wouldn't match up. But you got to go back and listen to that Plies shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. Your Plies been going hard for a minute. I can't slam him. I'm gonna be honest with you, fool. If we going artist to artist, Plies probably got Trick Daddy. Man. Trick Daddy had an error though. I'm trying to keep it real with him, but man, Plies can rap. I'm just being honest with you, bro. Drop it in the. Shaquille O'Neal converted a 64 Impala into a jet boat. Look, he had a $200,000 budget. Effortless, Effortless Motors presented him with this one of a kind, fully functional boat he commissioned for his own lake in Texas. Look, this thing is incredible, fam. I'm just being honest, fam. I want to show everybody this boat. You got to look at this motherfucker, man. I have never seen nothing like it, but it's 2026 and we are in the future, fam. I got to get me one like that when I get my money. See, when people see this, it's not supposed to make you hate. This type of shit is supposed to motivate. This how we pulling up now. You know, the summer is almost here. It's getting hot. We didn't grind it all winter to, really enjoy ourselves when that heat come around. You know what I mean? So don't be surprised if you see me in Shaq's 64 Impala. Nigga. You know, that's how I'm doing it. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the Blueface throwing shots at NLE Choppa. Look, he heard that diss track. Look, in the diss track, NLE Choppa said, a whole ate his arse, so she called him D-Lo. Look, Blueface say, bro, he'll get that man, did it juice, and put some baby oil on his arse, on his pretty arse. Look, everybody know Blueface, he was doing some other shit in that jail. He was doing splits, yoga poses, and all type of other shit. Now he could try to troll and I'm getting, and you might be. And you know what? It don't even matter. You know, it don't even matter. This besides the point. Look, NLE Chopper has been getting that blue face saying, I'm just joking, I'm just joshing. No. Face want that fade. Yeah, blue face want that fade. But guess what, blue face? I got a new competitor for you. Blue, young Blue, Blue Vandross. He want to fade with you. Yeah, he's been working out. He's challenging you. Sounds like a good matchup, man. Make it happen. Aiden ASAP Rocky receiving the Vanguard Award at the 57th NAACP Image Awards. Look, he's nominated for 3 NAACP Image Awards for his role in Highest to Lords. I think Highest to Lords nominated for about 7. I didn't really like the film, and that's besides the point. I didn't really like it because I'm a real like film person, and I think it was one of Denzel Washington's voice movies. I wanted to see a better performance. I just wanted to see a little more on top of that. Rocky wasn't really rapping like he should have been. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. But that's besides the point. They're recognizing his influence, his energy, and his originality, as well as his spirit, fool. They say he's one of the most prolific style icons of this generation, represents fearless evolution of the black creativity. I give it to him, man. I give it to him. The boy has maintained a spiffiness throughout the years. But the shit y'all see of Rocky, I don't really see. You know what I mean? I just don't see. I'm just being honest with you, bro. Drop it in the comments. Blueface throwing shots at NLE Choppa. Look, he heard that diss track. Look, in the diss track, NLE Choppa said, a whole ate his arse, so she called him D-Lo. Look, Blueface say, bro, he'll get that man, did it juice, and put some baby oil on his arse, on his pretty arse. Look, everybody know Blueface, he was doing some other shit in that jail. He was doing splits, yoga poses, and all type of other shit. Now he could try to troll and I'm getting, and you might be. And you know what? It don't even matter. You know, it don't even matter. This besides the point. Look, NLE Chopper has been getting that blue face saying, I'm just joking, I'm just joshing. No. Face want that fade. Yeah, blue face want that fade. But guess what, blue face? I got a new competitor for you. Blue, young Blue, Blue Vandross. He want to favor you. Yeah, he's been working out. He's challenging you. Sounds like a good matchup, man. Make it happen. Aiden. Tory Lanez throwing shots at Jay-Z. He did it from prison. This is a Per Peterson album. A lot of people didn't hear the Gangland. They wasn't really into Tory like that. But I'm gonna tell you like this. This is one of the best albums of last year, fool. It was definitely a moment. But Gangland, Jigga don't touch them kids. You know what I mean? At the end of that motherfucker, you could hear Tory, Jigga don't touch them kids. Look, bro, with Jigga named in them Epstein files, a lot of people don't want to talk about it, but you got to talk about it. I don't know what exactly did he partake in, but he did partake. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. It was a 9-inch. They wasn't allowing the black entertainers to be able to get so much money like they are now. They had to go other routes. Now the men and already clearly told you he was selling dope and all type of other shit. You can't put nothing past him. You know what I mean? Jigging them to some kids, allegedly. You know what I mean? But Ramil Satterway's mother was young. Let's just be honest. Lil was young. Let's just be honest, man. Yeah, let's just be honest. I'm not trying to throw Jigga out there as one of my favorite rappers. He is the GOAT. But Jigga don't touch them kids. Look, Lauryn Hill performed Killing Me Softly with Wyclef Jean at the 68th annual Grammy Awards. Look, they tore that performance up. Now, I can admit when it started, I thought it was a little slow. It wasn't the same Lauryn Hill, but do you really expect it to be after all these years on hiatus? You know what I mean? And she ain't really been on hiatus because she's been touring, but she's gotten older. Look, her and Wyclef tore it down. You know what I mean? All they was missing was Pros, but everybody know what Pros is dealing with right now. The Fugees was a team. The Fugees was a team. Incredible performance. If you watched it, drop it in the comments. If you haven't, I implore everybody to go watch this year's Grammys. It was different than the other Grammy Awards. I can't really explain it, but it was a heavy black presence. You know, heavy. Everybody was together. You know, a good night for entertainment. Drop it in the comments. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real, fam. Lefty Gunplay won a Grammy Award for TV Off with Kendrick Lamar, and he only had to say 4 words, folks. 4 words. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Crazy, scary, spooky, hilarious. Now, the man was trying to go on stage with K Dot at one point, and security biked him up. Wouldn't even let him on the stage. But yes, they let him on the stage to accept the award. The man say, I just want to thank Kendrick Lamar for putting a Latin on. And I want every Latin kid to know you could do this too. Man, you could hate on Lefty if you want to, but I admire him. You know what I mean? I got to salute that. Why? A lot of people don't get it, bro. A lot of people don't get it. Even Peso got him a Grammy. And you barely know these guys, bro. Kendrick Lamar, they say he ain't never put nobody on the way. He got them Grammys, bro. That shit hit different. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the play.
Choppa throwing shots at Blueface. He say the man is going through identity crisis. Every day he wake up trying to be the best Crip he could be. Ain't worried about shit else. Look, bro, that main priorities is that main priorities. Cub could do what he want to do. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Every day you wake up talking about some zesty shit like, oh, she ate my arse and called me D-Lo. You know what I mean? Look, man. You can't judge a nigga to choosing to be true to what he's true to. You know what I mean? Point blank period. It's in you, not on you. You know what I mean? You want to judge his tattoos. Look, bro, everybody get tattoos. It ain't for you to be able to explain why that motherfucker got them tattoos. They mean something to him. That's all that matters. Look, NLE Choppa, I'm not with you, but I'm not totally against you. There is some truth to what you're saying, but it's coming from a non-banging perspective. You know what I mean? It's a non-banging perspective. You can't put a banging perspective with a non-banging perspective and think that you're going to make some sense out of it. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Drop it in the comments, man. It's Cars from the Michael 5000 Watts was honored at the 68th annual Grammy Awards. They put his picture on the screen in the bike. You know what I mean? I don't know if they just announced nothing or said nothing, but let's just be honest. Let's just be real. It's one of the biggest stages in the world. You know what I mean? So to just give him any type of acknowledgement, it's a dope no nod to Houston. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Shout out DJ Michael Watts for my subscribers that don't really know him, he was screwing and chopping some shit in Houston. Not only that, he was just a good ass DJ, bro. Everybody know Michael Watts. You know, let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Switch your eye. You know, drop it in the comments. If you from the H, bro, show some love. You know what I mean? Drop your H's in the goddamn comments. You know what I mean? If you're not, still drop a H. Just say you respect the city, man. Yeah, just being honest, just being real, fool. Drop it in the comments. Hey, boy, Cardi, I Am music album didn't receive any Grammy nominations, and that boy is hurt. Yeah, his feelings hurt. He's pissed the fuck off. He's furious. You know what I mean? Yeah. He say he did everything right. You know, he did everything by the book, trying to ensure that he was gonna please the industry. Well, look, that's what you did wrong. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Playboy Cardi, that's what you did wrong. You making some shit trying to please, but you really should have been making some shit that the people needs. You know what I mean? You should have been feeding your fans, fam. You shouldn't have been trying to feed the commercial industry. That's where you fucked up. And that's why your shit got lost. Yeah, it's why it got lost in the wind, bro. You got to be creative. You got to put that shit out like you put it out when you're supposed to put it out. Don't make them wait for it. Your fans been having to sign a fucking petitions to get you to put out music. You really thought you were gonna win a Grammy. Come on, man. Let's be honest. Let's just be real here. Justin Bieber performed Yukon at the 68th Annual Grammy Awards. Look, nigga stripped down to his shorts, man. Live instruments, you know what I mean? And just sung that motherfucker, bro. They say he was really talking to everybody that tried to victimize him in the industry. You know what I mean? Look, it was dope. You know, a lot of people thought Justin Bieber was finished, but to see him on that big stage rocking, having one of the best performances. I say one of them because, man, come on, you can't not mention Tyler, the Creator, bro. That man is incredible, fam. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. The creativity is next level. But yeah. Justin Bieber performing at Yukon, fam. Show the world that it ain't over for him. It ain't over for him. I think a lot of people just relate to Justin Bieber a little more. Look, this is a story that has to be told, bro. And if you missed that performance or you didn't know that was him, because the voice kind of different on the actual song, man, go check him out. Savage was stripped of 25 million Spotify streams. Look, bro, he was botching. Yeah, let's just be honest. Let's just be real. This is for his latest album, What Happened to the Streets. 25 million streams were stripped away from it, meaning how many faking their streams, getting their place from machines. Niggas ain't big as they seem. Look, man, nigga said that on his own song and didn't take his own advice. Couldn't put out an album that flopped. You know what I mean? Look, bro, this is more embarrassing. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. This is more embarrassing. 21 Savage, if you ain't got it and it ain't you, just keep it, fam. If you got to pay for the views just so it could seem like you are what you ain't, it's in you, not on you, my nigga. Let's just remember that. Drop it in the comments, man. Scar's finna play. Throwing shots at YSL Woody. Look, he's speaking on his deceased baby. Come on, man. This is going way too far. He even went as far as saying he didn't know the baby well enough to actually love him. He's just looking for sympathy. Look, Charleston, I thought you quit YouTube. Let's start there, bro. I thought you was done with YouTube and all the bullshit. You were moving on to white politics. What's going on with you, fam? This is too far, you know what I mean? This is too far. All to get back into the algorithm. You say you didn't want it no more. You know what I mean? Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. You told Sean Cotton you were done, only to go to a lesser channel and think you gonna build that bitch up by saying crazy ass shit. Look, 607, you could have did better. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. And Charleston White Uncle Charlie, that's my man. That's my man, but I love him and I hate him at the same damn time. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. One shot said Gucci, man. Look, he said that six-pack Gucci is a weenie. Yeah, he like that big belly Gucci. That Gucci was a gangster. These days, he's so heavily medicated and inebriated, too damaged to actually
manage a major artist. That's why Pusha still allegedly did that man like Vanilla Ice. Yeah, held him hostage, took his watch, took his chain. On top of that, he say Gucci Mane don't remember shit. He don't know what's going on. The man still think he in 2006. Look, bro, if that's the case, you know not to fuck with him. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. This whole little situation is cap. Yeah, it's the Cap Olympics, man. You know what I mean? It's 2026 is the Cap Olympics. You gonna see them cap even more than they did last year. Cause get what? A bitch gonna do the next best thing a bitch know how to do. And that's cap. And I'm talking about the niggas, not the women. Drop it in the comments, man. Scar's gonna play.
Joe Budden throwing shots at Lil Wayne. Look, Kendrick Lamar just won 5 Grammys, surpassing Jay-Z in Grammy Awards. Look, Wayne tweeted out, I got to do better. You know what I mean? No Grammy for me this year. I got to do better. Joe Budden say, come on, my nigga. Every time Kendrick Lamar wins, Wayne cries. I got to side with Joe Budden, bro. At this point, it's starting to be corny. Okay, my nigga, you didn't perform at the Super Bowl. You got to do better. You didn't win a Grammy. You got to do better. Wayne, at some point, bro, you got to take accountability in your music. You know what I mean? Stop saying you're gonna do better and just fucking do better. And you just fucking do better. If a Grammy matters, if being on top of the game, being America's best rapper matters to you, just fucking do better. Nigga tired of hearing you quiet. Yeah. 10, and I'm saying that from a nigga that really fuck with Wayne. I fuck with Wayne. That's a goat there. But right is right. Come on, my nigga. Get off. NLE Choppa apologizes to Blueface. Look, he went way too far when he started talking about the kid. You know what I mean? He started talking, the man just wanted to box you, and he was trying to be like real cool about it. You know what I mean? He letting you get yours off, but you went too far. Now you want to apologize, man. What y'all got to understand is you can't sell a whole gang of shit and then want to take it back. You know what I mean? We're going to handle our shit fist to fist. Bro, you don't know how Blueface tell him gonna handle it, but he's gonna make an example out of you, boy. Let's just be honest, cuz. You know what I mean? You done fucked up. You know you done fucked up. That's why less than 24 hours, you apologize. And no, bro, you said what you wanted to say. You said what you want to say, and cuz gonna teach you something. I'm just being honest. I'm just being real, bro. Your ass done wrote a check. Your mouth done wrote a check your ass can't carry. Drop it in the comments. And you don't know, but you sure as hell about to find out. If I was you, I'd stay away from me. 50 Cent throwing shots at Floyd Mayweather. Look, Floyd is suing Showtime Sports for $340 million, accusing them of helping his manager or whatever, his team member, steal from him. Look, 50 say, bro, the problem is, I told you read them contracts, but your dumb ass can't read. You know what I mean? Yeah, you can't read. You know what I mean? It's like, all the money in the world, bro. He never clicked to the hooked on phonics. You know what I mean? Look, one can laugh, but it ain't really funny, bro. Yeah, it ain't really funny. Nah, nigga done punched his way out the hood, but come on, my nigga. At this point, if it's true, because he already betted you to read a page of Harry Potter and you didn't do it. You know what I mean? Just be honest. I was going to say, talk about Hogwarts. As long as you can pronunciate Hogwarts, you should be all right. You know what I mean? Drop it in the comments, man. I don't think the champ can win because he never comes out and denies it. Well, not denies it, but just proves that he can read. J. Cole, the Fall Off album is lackluster. You look, it troubles me to even say this, bro, because I was waiting for it. Like everybody, this 29 and 39. You know what I mean? 24 tracks, 12 on each. Look, this 29 is unlistenable. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest, just being real, bro. Now, he's talking about something, but all that Deuteronomy shit, yeah, nigga ain't trying to hear all that. I'm going to be honest with you, fam. It ain't about what you say, bro. The shit got a jam. The beats are boring, and the delivery is boring. Now, this 39, that's something different. You know what I mean? It could have been a one-disc album, if you ask me. The shit just not very cohesive, and it's not a retirement CD. This is not one of them albums you say, well, I'm going out with a shebang. You know what I mean? No. I mean, you got to go back to the drawing boards. But the fall off is inevitable. That's one of the best songs of the fucking century, fam. I'm just being honest, just being real here. Drop it in the comments, man. I promise to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. Ochocinco Johnson facing a $100 million defamation lawsuit. He made damaging remarks in online conversations and media appearances. Look, he said this is the first time he's been sued and actually laughed about it. You know, he ain't got nowhere near $100 million. In fact, he said he ain't got nothing for him. You know what I mean? Imagine suing a person and getting nothing. He say nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Good luck. You know what I mean? The man say he ain't got it. You know, let's just be honest. Let's just be real, bro. Shout out Chad Ochocinco, man. Because sometimes you just gotta be honest. You just gotta be honest. And when you know you're saying shit online, you're saying things online, that's when you start transferring everything to your woman's name. And if you don't got a woman, put it in your mama's name, because they coming for it. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. But he's right. If he ain't got it, what do you think you're actually gonna get? $100 million. It's crazy. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the play. Look, Lil Baby demands $40 million to fight DJ Akademiks. Like, come on, man. This man has said everything under the sun about Lil Baby. Call him a drug fiend, all type of other shit. But he wants to fight for $40 million. Now, Aiden Ross told him he was willing to give him a real number. You know what I mean? You probably even could have got 5 to 10. You know what I mean? Depending on how that fight turned out. You know what I mean? Because it main event, neither one of y'all got hands. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Look, bro, a lot of people think that just because you got money doesn't mean you got to fight somebody that got less money of you. Look, it's about being a man, bro. Respect. Respect ain't measured by your bank account. It measures by when you talk shit, can you really bike it up? Look, man, you done got that man slapped on. You know what I mean? You done got him snuffed. You owe that man a fair one. Yeah, a fade. You know, if you don't want to do it outside of the ring, why not do it in the ring and make a little something off of it? Ain't supposed to be about the money on it. Diddy Combs received a fast-track prison appeal court date. Look, April 9, 2026, they fast-tracked it. Why, bro? I ain't fighting for his life. 3 to 4 years for something he should have got 3 to 4 months for. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Now, had they had some real charges on him, ain't nobody just the biggest fan of Diddy, bro. But this is just about being correct. You know, it's about being correct and truthful. 3 to 5 years, 3 to 4 years for providing transportation to participate in prostitution. You know what I mean? Look, it ain't even so much of a tongue twister anymore. Niggas say that like it ain't nothing. Why? Because it ain't. You know, let's just be honest. Let's just be real, bro. It's been people that got lesser time than that for worse charges. Drop it in the comments, man. Diddy, that nigga gonna be home pretty soon. Mark my words. But in 2026, that man coming home. I'm willing to say, by the summer. Yeah, by the summer. If not, before summer even starts. Cole throwing shots at Kendrick Lamar. This is on the Fallout album. He say conscious crown turn, corporate lock, turning spirit into stock. He say he respected his art, his fight, his creed. But the respect ain't mutual when he realized he treat brothers like debris. He also said high powers are at play in his favor. Now he gripped the keys he stole from the boy into the machine. Look, bro, he say this is what focus group approved. You know what I mean? Look, the man saying a lot. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. The man saying a lot. Kendrick Lamar, wherever you are, man, that nigga got you rolled up just right. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. And I know K-pop fans are gonna hate that, you know what I mean? But the truth is the truth, and the truth is the truth. Now, J. Cole's delivery on this album is just kind of so-so. Yeah, it's kind of so-so. He could have did better. Yeah, he could have did better. But at least he mentioned it. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Drop it in the comments. Wack 100 throwing shots at Max B. Look, Max B had a whole lot of shit to say because he heard Wack was talking about him. But look here, on Clubhouse, Wack say he ain't arguing with half a punk. You know what I mean? He ain't arguing with no half a punk. That man, half a man. In jail, he was on some other shit. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real, bro. What they call it, keistering. He was keistering doobies. When he felt like smoking, he said he'd pull it out his arse, hit it a little bit, and stick it back in his arse. You know what I mean? Come on, man. Come on. How low can you go? Just be honest, fam. How have you playing with? Man, I ain't gonna. You know what? Community strike after community strike. You do what you do, Max B. You do what you do. You are who you are. Who am I to tell you who you are? I could just tell you, like, that type of thing was weird. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, for me. You know what I mean? For me, it was weird. Makes me not look at the man the same. You know what I mean? That's it. Yeah, I came down him. Yeah, you do what you do. You know what I mean? Just being honest, just being real. Drop it in the comments. Jay-Z signed LaRussel to Rock Nation. Look, the man said he happy as hell when he woke up. 50 radio stations was already playing his song. Look, bro, J. Cole didn't want to be there. Yeah, J. Cole is unarguably one of the best. He didn't want to be there at no Rock Nation. I don't know what they offered him. You know what I mean? But look here, bro. You gave up control. One of the best things about LaRussel is that he was doing all that shit from the backyard and he was independent. I mean, you can't want too much out this game too quick that you're willing to give up control when you had him fucking beat. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. Shout out Jay-Z. You know what I mean? Hell of a guy, you know what I mean? But when it come to other artists, man, that man ain't really about shit. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real, bro. He ain't never been better at taking care of nobody other than him motherfucking self. It's just drop it in the comments, dog. That's just fact. And them young girls, allegedly. Jay don't touch them kids. Finesse2tymes wages war against J. Prince Jr. Yeah, he wants out of monetizing. He's willing to fight to the death of it. Why, bro? He said he ain't got no daddy that's worth 300 million. Yeah, he got to get it out the mud, and it ain't been working with mob ties. Look, J. Prince Jr., wherever you are, you know what I mean? J. Prince, this is why I always tell y'all, man, stop fucking with out-of-town rappers, bro. Yeah, rap a lot ain't really got no wave right now in Houston. And it definitely don't when y'all hire niggas from Memphis and all this other type of shit. Niggas like Finesse2tymes, BBL Finesse. Look, man, there's too much talent down here in Houston to be putting y'all money into other shit, thinking that's how it's gonna pop, nigga. You got to do the same thing people do in their own cities, nigga. Build your fucking community. It's no way you could have a nigga like Scars from the Playground and you going out of town to think you gotta find something else, nigga. Come on. Shakur Stevenson was stripped of his WBC lightweight world championship belt. Look, this is after dominating at Madison Square Garden. Put a beating on the other guy. You know, I didn't even watch it. You know what I mean? I didn't watch it. Because one already knew how it was going to turn out. Let's just be real. Let's just be honest. But the man moved up a weight class, and he got the WBO junior welterweight champion. Look, after paying $100K, they had the nerve to say regulations are champions cannot hold titles in multiple divisions. You know what I mean? The man was stripped of his WBC lightweight world championship belt. But you know what? He say, you know, the belt don't make him. You know what I mean? What is he paying y'all for? Y'all had nothing to do with this belt. But you know what? Y'all could have it. Look, this is just how they playing the game now. Yeah, it's how they playing the game now, bro. You can get with it or get lost. Drop it in the comments, man. But it's fucked. Just saying, throwing shots at Jay-Z. He posted a snippet of an old song Jay put out called Young Girls. You know what I mean? He said, I know y'all gonna hate me, but what are y'all gonna say about what this fool is saying? LOL. Get your ass down the street. Yeah, look, bro. Jay-Z made a song about young girls, about the girl being barely of age. Yeah, you're barely of age, but he was gonna put a ring on it. The sounds hella fucking weird. Let's just be honest. Especially when you got Ramil Satterwhite out there saying his mama was one of them young girls. Yeah, his mama one of them young, Aaliyah was one of them young girls. They allegedly Beyonce was one of them young girls. Even though he say he didn't start dating her till she was about 17, 18. He met her when she was 14. That's just weird when you see a kid, then you date her 3 years later. Come on, my nigga. We all got to agree. We got to agree. Drop it in the comments. You got to separate the man from the music. Jay-Z is a hell of a guy. You know what I mean? Hell of a rapper. The best. The world's greatest. But, hey, on the other hand, shit, might be the world's worst, too. Just being honest, just being real. Drop it in the comments, man. Scars from the play. Look, T.I. challenges 50 Cent to a versus match. Look, he say 50 been ducking that smoke for a long time, but he want him. You know what I mean? Look, bro, It's easy to say Tip ain't got nothing. TIP coming live from the VIP ain't got nothing on the 50 Cent. But look here, bro. Um, T.I. has been known as the king of the South for a minute, bro. When you put up them albums, other than 50 Cent first album, bro, what does he really have? Most of that shit bullshit. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. When 50 Cent started like trying to get jiggy with it, like on some Will Smith shit, I was gone. Now, can he still rap? Yeah, it's playing mixtape shit like, nigga, you ain't saying nothing. But a lot of people never heard that song with Lil Boosie. But yeah, I think TIP coming live from the VIP. Yeah, he'll beat 50 Cent. Now, as far as Lil Wayne, nigga, Lil Wayne to put him in a headlock like a little kid. But yeah, he'll beat 50 Cent for sure. Drop it in the comments, fam. Look, Ink Capone throwing shots at Sauce Walker.
All this nigga been doing is just talking. I don't know how y'all don't just see this shit. I don't know why y'all think he could do anything with me, like, at all. I'm gonna break him up, and he know this.
Now, I don't know Ink Capone. I don't know him, you know what I mean? But after listening to him, he got a point, bro. They had a friendship. Now, whether or not that man was actually wearing Albert's clothes, MC Gusto's clothes back in the day, that's besides the point. Bro, just because you got money don't mean you don't have to put in your own work. Sometimes, most of the time, all the time, bro, you got to get dirty with it. Yeah. If you want to still be street, you got to be willing to fight niggas that got less money than you. It ain't about the money, bro. It's about the respect. That's what people don't understand, bro. It ain't about the money. It's about the respect. For a lot of people that think this guy is out of his league because Albert got too much to fuck with him, look, bro. Man, all he wants is a fade. You know what I mean? All he wants is a fade. I think if y'all got some personal shit going on behind the scenes, the man deserves it, nigga. It ain't about money. Money doesn't buy you out of an ass whooping, bro, unless you willing to pay that fee. You know what I mean? Unless you willing to pay a nominal fee, you got to catch them hands. If Ink, what's his name? Ink Baby or whatever he say his name is, if he even got something.
If they throw it, I'ma catch it to play the game like Tetris. I'm one of a kind rap, people tell me I'm a clip. I've been working 24 hours, summertime to winter. I ain't really at the chill, it gotta be about business.